To tell that story, I think I'd like to give a brief history. My advisor was David Rumelhard, who in the 1980s developed the backpropagation algorithm, which is the algorithm which underlies essentially all of modern AI. I watched him develop it, and I took his software and further worked with it and developed it. And I saw that it was powerful. And it became clear to me that brute force AI would become a thing someday if there was enough data. So what I endeavored to do was something a bit different. I wanted to have these systems be transparent and trustable. So I wanted to work on things like confidence intervals and assessments of uncertainty, and making sure these systems would work well when they were in the context of a crowd of other decision makers, including people. So I've taken a very statistical and economic perspective on the original idea of pattern recognition and focused on decision making. Generative AI is a large class of methods that take in data and extrapolate and are learning systems. And underneath these systems are gradient-based algorithms, and they have interesting objective functions, functions they want to optimize. Often these functions are quite complex mathematically, and so I've worked on something called variational methods in the 1990s, which take problems that are quite complex, either optimization or otherwise, and turn them into simplified problems whose solution is still reasonably good, close enough to the original desired solution. So that's an area that I developed with colleagues for many, many years, and that underlies many of the generative AI techniques that we're seeing now. The second area I worked on was large-scale computing on large numbers of computers. A project called Ray, we developed at the University of California, Berkeley, led to a company called Anyscale. I'm a co-founder there, and the software Ray has been used to train many of the existing large language models. Yes, it's a great question. The distinctive fact about humans, I think, is that we're very good at coping with uncertainty. Our world is full of uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next, or from one month to the next. We get better at coping when we come together in groups. We can ask people things. We can share knowledge. And for me, that's what AI can aid in. It can help us to share knowledge. In fact, the large language models are sharing knowledge across many hundreds of millions of people. But the large language model itself is not very good at uncertainty. And so I'm particularly interested in mitigating and representing that uncertainty. And then the other aspect of it is that I want large language models to help people create connections among each other, in particular markets, which are examples of connections that lead to economic value for people. If I create something and it's transmitted to someone else, I want to get remunerated for that. I'd like to have it valued in a market. And I think that AI writ large should really be about the interactions of computing and data and humans in creative endeavors and commercial endeavors, and valuing the work that we do, and empowering us to do yet more interesting work. I tend to be someone who focuses on the next 5 to 10 years, where I think many, many issues will play out. In particular, I'm concerned about real here and now issues. The labor market, for example. Will AI help create jobs? Will it diminish jobs? What will be the rate of those effects? I'm also concerned about will AI remunerate people? Will it value creative acts? If I write something like a novel, or if I do contribute to Wikipedia, and all of that writing goes into a large language model which is owned by someone else, that concerns me. So I want these things to spread. I want them to be open and to support creativity, to support everyone, to support democracy. And I tend to be optimistic mostly when I interact with young people, 20 to 25-year-olds. They see in this technology something exciting, not just for their own wealth or creative acts, but to help their family, to help others around them, to help the world be a better place. And they're going to look for ways to use this technology to make it a better place. And so that, my interest is in focusing on mechanisms right now that will provide a safe, transparent, and open platform. And then I trust humanity to figure out how to use that in healthy and useful ways.